very dangerous for Armenians right now. I want to get you out of here.
If it's not safe for me, then it's not safe for any of my people.
What is the Associated Press doing here?
Reporting on the war.
There is no war here.
I am curious if you can just recall your first meeting with Terry George and what made you sign on for this.
Yeah, Terry came round my house, and Terry's a funny bloke, and he's very, I mean, entertaining, funny, not like weird. And although we've all got that to us, haven't we? He was incredibly informed about all the historical events, and I'd started doing my own research, but I'm ashamed to admit I had not heard of the Armenian genocide, and I think that, you know, surprisingly, there's be a lot of people who might be watching this who are in the same boat as me. And I came to realise how pivotal this event was, how atrocious, how horrific it was, but also how pivotal in the fact that because there were no consequences to this genocide, you can make an argument that it played a part in all of the genocides that have happened since.
I mean, its relevance is actually shocking in that we were filming people, refugees fleeing across that northern Syrian Turkish desert 100 years ago, and we were watching it on TV. We were watching the Yazidi trapped up a mountain when we were doing a siege, and people drowning in the Mediterranean. So its relevance is enormous to us, and just the whole story of refugees and what they go through and how we view them is that immediacy is almost shocking.
I'd heard bits and pieces about this from my Armenian friends back in Iran when I was growing up with them, and when I read it, I thought, it's a must. I have to do this. I fell in love with it. It's beautifully written, and it was telling the story that I wanted to be a part of it. It's a meaningful, responsible story that would bring genocides in general, not only the Armenian genocide, into people's attention.
It's a challenge that you want to take on board to get the story out there and to have the facilities and the support to do that. Because when I did Hotel Rwanda, it was the same. People would say to me, I knew nothing about this. And I hear that even a lot more about the Armenian genocide, and hopefully this is a way to spread the word, not just about that specific event, but about the crime of genocide and how that needs to be stopped.
When everything is met with hate or just fear or just wanting to everything that comes from the ego most of the time is met with destruction, I think. And so what's happening today, like you said, it's scary. It's really scary because I said it earlier, but my great-great-grandparents fled to Syria, to Aleppo. People are now fleeing from Syria to other countries. And so I think you're absolutely right. It's...
Yeah, they're leaving the country for the exact same reasons, which is nationalism and radicalism, and that was exactly what was happening in Turkey at that time. There was a nationalism rise, and then they wanted to. I don't want to talk about this, but yeah, and that's how it started. I mean, hatred and division, and usually it tends to happen even now, even in France. There's a huge nationalism rise right now that is quite scary. And probably here in the U.S. as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's kind of I don't know, it's like waves, I feel.
Terry's got a wonderful personal history. He's somebody very altruistic. He wrote his first play, The Tunnel, based on his own experience trying to escape from the Maze prison. And this was all something I was very aware of as a kid growing up, so I was really fascinated in that. And this whole, all of the filmmakers wanted this to be, obviously the film being crucial, but really there was a very altruistic approach to this film, not only with the fact that all the proceeds will go to charities that are aimed at preventing and holding people accountable for genocide, but in an educational resource for people to use it as a hub. And for information and to try to help rather than just to provoke more, hostilities.
I've seen, as we all have, many films on the Holocaust, but this is an event in history that you sort of heard about, really didn't know about. And I admired the idea that they tried to tell, they're telling a narrative story in order to draw an audience in, so that subliminally they begin to relate to the context in which that story occurs and see the dynamics and the suffering and the forces that are directed against the Armenian people. And as Shohreh said, the connection between this and what's happening today.
And the opposite of hate is love, right? Fear is love. So love exists in this story.
Absolutely.
Love exists in this story, and I think that's the most important part of it, that with love there is survival and courage, and it's that one line. What was the line? Go ahead, say it.
Our revenge will be to survive.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
that's one line.
And I think it's the line of the story. Our revenge will be to survive, and that's what they did. That's what my great-grandparents did. We survived.
You trust no one.
Chris?
We will build a future together.